7. How are we going to start today?
Oh gosh, I don't know.
Okay. We'll just start with Frances.
Hopefully with that. Just zoom in on that.
Hey, buddy. Can you lay down? You want to be on the show today? Okay. Well, cheers, I guess.
Cheers. It's daylight savings. I'm tired.
I don't know what time it is. My body's really sore, and welcome to Sister Knitting Society, the podcast.
We're here.
We made it. I don't really know how, but we did.
Oh, Puggy.
All right, well, I guess we'll introduce ourselves. I'm Elizabeth, and this is Frances.
And I am Grace, and this is my coffee cup.
Grace, you need a dog.
I do need a dog. Except for all the work that goes into a dog, I would love the little companion to snuggle with me.
You'd have a lot more dog hair on your knitwear, though.
I would. I go home and knit, like, to mom and dad's house, and I'll come back and there's pug hair all over my knits. But so far, like, some of them don't have any, so.
Wow.
Gonna bank
impressive.
Stay insane.
That will literally never happen in my entire life. Anyway.
No, it won't.
All right. Yeah, so I feel like we have some new friends watching us recently. Yeah. Our subscriber count has been climbing slowly but surely. So I guess we'll say a little bit about who we are and where we are and what we do. So like I said, I'm Elizabeth. I live in Noblesville, Indiana, which is just north of Indianapolis, with my husband Trevor and my daughter Elliot and our pug Frances and our foster pug Lucy. For work, I own a dance studio, so I teach a lot. I teach mostly ballet, but I also teach like jazz and lyrical and some contemporary. Sometimes I teach like little baby tap, but my business partner is really good at teaching tap, so I don't teach a lot of that. And we started during the pandemic, and so the reason I said my body was sore earlier is because I spent all day working at our new location yesterday. So ripping up carpet and painting and doing all the things to get a space ready. So that's exciting. That's me. That's my little life.
Yay. I am Grace, and I live in Arlington, Virginia. Technically, I work in DC, but I have not gone into the office since the start of the pandemic. So I've been working from Arlington for about a year now. I report on pharmaceutical drug policy developments. So anything related to how to develop a drug or how to pay for a drug is something that is of interest to the people that I write for. It's not an audience of the general public. It's for pharmaceutical companies, so it gets pretty deep in the weeds, but that means there are a lot of learning opportunities for me because I did not go to school for journalism or anything related to pharmaceuticals. I studied psychology and somehow wound up in an awesome job where I get to learn new things about interesting drugs and global pandemics every day.
It's been really convenient for the past year to have you in the weeds on drug development because there's a COVID vaccine out now, so that's really great.
There's a couple things going on that are high profile. Just a few, though.
Just a few.
They don't impact every single person, for sure.
I am now officially on the list of people eligible to receive the vaccine because I am school staff. So I work with a local high school on choreographing their musical, which means that I work with students in a school in person. And so I am officially on the list of approved to get the vaccine. I've registered, but I've not been contacted for an appointment yet. And I feel like I should let the people who are actually in the classrooms day to day get all of those appointments before I insert myself in there. So I haven't been logging on at midnight and like some teachers in Indiana have been to be able to get their vaccine appointments. So figured I'd let them go first.
That's kind of you. I am jealous of your status as registered to get it, but I'll get there eventually.
Exciting. You will. Anyway, so that, yeah, we haven't talked about it all, but this is primarily a knitting podcast.
Yes. Believe it or
You're
not.
here. We are here not just to talk about our jobs and my dog, but who's being so good right now? You're being so good, buddy. You know. So yeah, we are here to talk about knitting. um, so I guess we can jump in with our finished objects. We have a few this week.
You have a few.
Okay, I
I
do.
have one. So we'll let you go first.
Okay. Well, my first finished object is the one that I am wearing. This is my CQ sweater. I tested this pattern for Alicia Plummer. It is out now, so you can get it on Ravelry. I think that she might also have another store where you can purchase her patterns if Ravelry isn't accessible to you. But I love this pattern. I've been talking about it on the podcast for the last few episodes. I am obsessed with it. It is a top-down circular yoke sweater. The color work is all done with slip stitches, so you're not actually doing stranded color work, working two colors at a time. So if you're new to color work, this would be a really great pattern for you. It's really clearly written. There's and it's pretty basic sweater construction. It has some optional things you can add. So there's some extra short rows at the bottom of the hem. If you want it a little bit longer in the back, you can modify it to have short sleeves or long sleeves. I kind of did a middle length sleeve because that's the sleeve length I prefer. But it's a really great pattern and I really love it. And I knit this out of primarily Malabrigo Rios is my cream main color. And then one of my little dot, I don't know how well you can see the little dot pattern in here, but one of the little dots, the more low contrast one is also Malabrigo Rios, which is 100% superwash merino. And then my purple parts of my stripes are are Swan's Island in the vintage lilac colorway, which is 100% natural merino, so non-superwash. And then Sheepy Time Knits did the blue um, little bit in the middle of the purple stripes, and that is 100% Blue Face Luster. And I cannot remember the name of the colorway on that one, so I'm sorry. But I really, really love this pattern. I highly recommend it. And it's my first finished object. I can't stop wearing it. So
I love that you're wearing it so much. That makes me happy.
I know I was getting dressed to record this morning and I was like, I'm gonna wear it. I'm gonna wear my CQ. So I'm gonna have to take it off as
Perfect.
soon as this is over because I have to go to rehearsal and I need like a tank top. But for now, I'm gonna wear it and I'm gonna love it.
Good plan. I like it.
You have another Alicia Plummer finished object.
I do. This is my Garnered cardigan. I have not blocked it yet. I meant to do it on Thursday, then I forgot, then I was going to do it on Friday, and I was like, well, we're recording Sunday, so don't want it to be on the blocking mat for the podcast because I want to be able to show it off. I've been working on this for a while, I think since I think it's been about 2 months that I worked on it. This is the Garnered Cardi. I used also Malabrigo Rios in the Indicita colorway. The journey of this yarn was a bit of a good one. I bought it originally for a different pattern, and then I realized I didn't buy the right yardage at all for that pattern. And then I started thinking that I hated the yarn altogether. So I was just going to let it sit in the stash indefinitely. And then Alicia was doing a knit along for the Garnered Cardi and pullover and wrap. And I thought maybe it could be something. So I kind of looked at it a little longer and I thought maybe a lace work pattern would look good with it. I really love it. It turned out very pretty. I hate that it doesn't show up as well on camera. The yarn doesn't.
Yeah.
It's really so much greener, like light green, than it appears on the screen, but that's okay.
Yeah, it seems really dark right now, but I know
Yeah,
that it's not.
it's super light. It's very mermaidy and jewel tones. Like right here is like a bright purple, but you would never be able to tell. Another good story for this little guy is that I was working on the bottom hem, which you do the panels, then you seam, then you do the sleeves, and then you work the hem, and then you do the edging. So I was on the hem and I ran out of my 4 skeins that I had because I'm knitting it at a larger gauge than what is called for in the pattern, which I think really worked for me because I love how like bubbly the sleeves look without having to like
Mhm.
actually do the work to make a bubble sleeve. Um, so I was on the hem and I was about 6 rows of 8 in and I ran out of yarn. And I texted Elizabeth and you were like, that Rios is kind of hard to come across right now, so you could be in a pickle here. And I panicked a little, but I tried not to too much. And then I looked on, so I bought the yarn originally at Black Sheep in Noblesville with Elizabeth. And then I looked on the Yarn Club website, which is the LYS in Virginia Beach, and they had 13 skeins of this colorway available. And I was so grateful because I managed to finish it. Now, of course, I still have some extra, but extra worsted weight isn't the worst thing. One day I'm probably going to have to make some sort of blanket just out of worsted scraps. That'll be fun.
I'm enjoying my scrappy blanket that I'm making right now. I haven't made a lot of progress on it, but I really like it. It's fun.
Yay.
Um, I know. Eventually, I'll show it on the podcast. I feel like it's so small right now that there's nothing really worth showing, but I did a couple of rows of it the other day. So,
Nice. I like
yes.
that.
Great. Well, I'm so excited for
That's
your
my
garnered.
garnered. Me
It's so
too. It's such
pretty.
a fun one. It'll be fun for spring too with all the greens and the purples.
It will be. It's so nice. It's like very Eastery. Hi, bud.
Yeah.
Okay, I'll do my next one. So my next one is also another test knit that I finished. I'm currently not testing any patterns. Look at me.
That's
And I'm not
you.
waiting to hear back on any from either. Although Lindsey Fowler just released on Patreon a little preview of something that she has coming. And so I would probably will sign up to test those because they're beautiful. But here's what I finished. These are my Snowmelt socks by Lindsey Fowler. And I mentioned before, she posted on her Patreon that she, like when she first started working on these, and as soon as I saw the sketch, I knew I wanted to test them, like before she even started working on her own sample. Um,
Francis is very into them. Look
you,
at his little face right now.
yeah, you like them? What, should I make a puggy version? Yeah, that'd be cute. So anyway, these are a DK weight sock. They're a little big on my blockers because they're a little big on me, but that's okay because they're so cozy. Um, I learned a new skill for these. So I learned how to do the tubular cast on, which I really, really liked. So it looks like a really like it looks like it just folds over. I'd get closer to the camera, but I don't want Francis to jump off because he's being so good. So you can fold down the cuff piece and it looks really nice. And then it's got this really pretty Norwegian rose pattern on the front. And they look so much better now that they've been blocked. Like, I mean, they looked good before, but I may now be on team actually blocking socks instead of just letting them block on my feet. But especially the color work, it's just so beautiful after it's been blocked. So I finished these in the last 2 weeks. I love them. I need to take some photos of them this week because the pattern comes out soon. And there's also a coordinating hat that she's releasing with the same motif. So I will be purchasing that pattern and doing coordinating hats to go with them because they're so cute. And I do plan on making more of these for the whole fam because I love that Lindsey grades her patterns for like children through large adults. So I'm planning on making some for the fam. I knit these in Knit Picks Swish DK, which is 100% superwash. The gold is the honey colorway, and then the blue is Wonderland Heather. And I got my color scheme from her original sketch. I just thought it was too perfect. So I didn't change anything. And I knit these in the adult small size. Next time I test for her, I think I might try to do the extra small adult. I think that would fit my foot a little bit better. So, but I love them. They're great. So it's my second finished object.
Yay. What's your third?
I have another one. So Friday, today's Sunday. Friday, I finished my Pappus hat, and this is a
That was
pattern by
quick.
Morgan Panich. I know it worked up so fast. It's a fingering weight hat, and again, just like the CQ, this is also slip stitch color work, so they're not actually doing stranded. So I used 100% alpaca for my main color. It's an undyed wool, and it's from an alpaca farm in Frankfort, Michigan, or near Frankfort, Michigan. And then the purple is cumulus, and it's a Surrey alpaca. So it's a very alpaca hat, but I love it. It's so cute.
It is
Um,
cute.
and this was on my list, like my Make Nine list for this year. So it's the first of my like Make Nine patterns that I've finished. I really like it. I did block it. The only thing I'm not crazy about, and it's really not that big of a problem, is that when I blocked it, my hem or my it got really, really wide.
It did.
So I probably should have like gone down a needle size for the ribbing and then gone up for the rest of the hat. I don't hate it though, because if hats are too tight, then they make my bangs look funny. So I almost would rather have it be a little bit looser so that it doesn't like squish my bangs down and make my hair look really weird. But
It's a
it's
cute hat.
it's a cute hat.
I'm
And I'm
glad I
so
bought
not
that
really
pattern.
I'm so not a hat person usually, but I with between this one and then the tendril hold hat, the Lindsey Fowler one that I finished earlier this year. Actually, I finished it on January 1st, so I finished it very early this year. Um, I love it. I think I might be a hat person now, and I've been wearing a lot of baseball hats recently. So I
New
don't know.
year, new you. This.
I'm, I'm a hat person now. So, Francis, do you like this one? Do you will wear it? It looks good on pugs too. Yeah.
It's a special pattern feature. Looks good on
So,
pugs.
so yes, I've got 3 finished objects this week. I was cruising.
Yay!
All
I'm
right.
proud of you.
Thank you. Shall we talk
I
about our work?
almost, yeah, I almost had half a finished object this week, but I didn't quite make it because I wanted to work on something else last night instead. My curling mist socks by Helen Stewart. I am on the toe right now, so I'm really
Ooh.
close to having my first sock done. I'm knitting this one with Hazel Knits Entice Frost colorway. It's a merino cashmere nylon blend, and it's very squishy and nice to work with. I love this pattern actually. It's really growing on me. I'm liking the cables a lot more now that the back of the sock is stockinette. Because it makes it half the work, which is very nice for me. Yeah, I've been talking about these for a couple weeks because I tend to work pretty slow on socks, which I think means that I kind of want to try 9-inch circulars, which I guess I'm skeptical about because they're so small and it seems wrong to me, but I'm gonna
I
give it a
was
shot, I
skeptical
think.
too.
Not on the second one of these, but maybe on my next sock
Yeah, I
pattern. I'll
wouldn't
give it a
switch
shot.
mid
Yeah,
pair. Your gauge might be drastically different.
yeah. So
Hopefully it won't
loving
be.
this. This is a fun sock,
Nice.
and I really like doing the Handmade Sock Society. I think it's a cute little way to get motivated to keep doing socks throughout the year because I can see myself kind of dropping off and just going for hats and sweaters and big projects.
Yeah.
So yeah, I like my little socks.
They're
Cute.
so pretty.
And they're
Well,
almost a half finished object, but they're not.
yay. I'll stick on the sock train. I have a half finished sock, but it's tiny. Okay, so I didn't actually do that much. Can you hear him snoring? He's so loud.
Yes. That was a loud one. That was a special one.
Okay, so this is my half finished sock for this week. This is just a 3x1 ribbed vanilla sock. You can see it's very tiny. It's for Elliot. And this is just in some scraps. Talked about this a couple weeks ago. I cast this on because I needed something like that I didn't have to think about while I was knitting it because I needed to be focused on something else, but I focus better when my hands are busy. And all my projects at the time were like things I had to think about as I knit them. So I cast these on. I just did like 10 rows for the cuff. And the cuff, heel, and toe are in Cascade Heritage. I feel like the colorway is called Carrot, but I could be lying. I bought this yarn forever ago. The ball band has long since disappeared. Um, I originally bought it to knit a pair of socks for our sister Mary. And then that scraps just sat around. So that's what this is. And then the rainbow yarn is actually the first yarn I bought from my local yarn store, Black Sheep. And I originally bought it for a hat. I still have the hat. I don't wear it. It was like my very first knitting project, other than like 2 dishcloths.
Aw.
So it's a little special, but like I'm gonna keep it forever. Anyway, this is Oink Pigments It's their Targi sock base, and the colorway is called Roy G Pig. And no, I do not have the ball band anymore. And yes, I do remember that. But it's so cute. So it's just a little ribbed sock. It fit her. That's all that matters. She loves rainbows. The orange and the cascade matches pretty much perfectly with like the orange in this. So it's perfect. I've not cast on the second one yet. I probably will at some point this week. I might even do that today. We have rehearsal all day for the studio. Um, so sometimes like we've got like kind of a long break where the kids are breaking for dinner. So I might cast the second one on to work on during that. So there's my half finished object
I
slash
like
first whip. It's cute.
I only have one more whip. How many do you have?
Just one.
Oh, wow. Who the
I
heck are
know.
you? This is crazy.
Well,
Okay,
bye, Nugget.
back to my skier bag. Oh,
You
he
know,
left.
it's okay.
That's
I
a
was really
bummer.
hoping he'd stay the whole time, but he might be back.
Me too. He could come back. Okay, my next whip I cast on like 2 nights ago. And this is the Moonlight Garden shawl pattern by Melody Hoffman. I'm in love with this. It's a worsted weight shawl, so it's working up super fast. And I'm using the yarn that she used in her sample is 50% merino, 50% alpaca. So I did the same. And so working with half alpaca yarn is very nice in itself. You make these little yarn over flowers. I don't know how well that can be seen. Yeah, it's so simple. It's so much just like straight knit, straight purls, a couple of yarn overs. That's like the only way we're increasing is just by making yarn over knit one, yarn over knit one. It's so easy. It's like, I think mom should make this pattern. I think she would really like it. And so
It's
it's going to be
so
a half,
pretty.
it's going to be a crescent half moon. I think that's what you call shawl. I love it. I'm using Big Bad Wool Weepaca, which is 50% fine washable merino and 50% baby alpaca. And it's just so
It's beautiful.
nice. It's so fun to work with. I'm using my favorite needles on it. These are, I think, Addy Rocket Turbo is what they're called. They're like wicked expensive needles, but man, if they're not the nicest things I've ever used. So,
They're so pretty. I
yeah,
love
I'm
it.
loving it. Very early start. I'm only like 30, 40 rows in, but it's been
It's so
fun. I
pretty.
really like this pattern. I don't want it to end. I'm gonna probably have to make like 3 or 4 more. It's so nice. Yeah,
It's so
simple shawl.
gorgeous.
I meant to start a top this week once I finished my garnered Cardi, but I don't have the right needles for it. So I need to order new ones and then I'll have 3 whips like you.
Ooh,
Yeah,
crazy.
big news. Big
I
wide
know.
world out there for people with 3 whips.
Well, I only have two this week, but that's because I got home really late last night. I was gonna cake up Neskin to the bulky yarn to start the hat for Mary that I talked about with my Sorella yarn, but it was late last night and I was tired, so I didn't do that.
Wow.
Hopefully I'll do it tonight. But I do have one more whip that I haven't shown on the podcast yet. Um, and it is, I'm gonna bring up my whole bag. So this is also my acquisition for the week is this bag. We both um, got bags from Meghan Makes Do on Instagram. This is the mega size because I needed a better sweater bag. So here it is. And it's different on both sides. I love
Ooh,
it.
yours is different. Mine's not.
Uh-huh. I love it. Anyway, so I started a new whip, and this is the Dissent Sweater by Andrea. I don't know if it's Rangel or Rangel, like hard G or soft G. I'm not sure, so I'm sorry. Somebody correct me, please. Um, so I have enough yarn to make two of these sweaters. Um, and did I really grasp that it was a fingering weight sweater on size 2 needles when I bought enough yarn to do two of them? No. Am I going to do it anyway? Yes. So this is the first one. I'm clearly not very far. So I've done like the neckband and I'm started on the color work for the yoke. And if you're not familiar with this pattern, it's a circular yoke sweater, and the color work is inspired by Ruth Bader Ginsburg's Dissent collar. And this one I am making for a friend. Now, I'm not usually the kind of person who knits for anybody except for my own family. or myself mostly. I usually am a pretty selfish knitter, but it's it's fine. Um, this sweater is for someone, a friend of mine, and I have like three friends except for Grace. Like I don't have a lot of friends. Um, but she's just one of those people who is like she's the most selfless person I know. Um, she is just a wonderful human being. Like being around her makes you feel like you're a better person. She just has that effect on people. And in addition to that, uh, she's also the kind of knitworthy person who, A, would appreciate a handmade garment. She is a sewer, so she sews a lot of clothes and costumes. I know her through theater, so she sews a lot of costumes. But she's also the kind of person who will very carefully care for a hand knit garment. She's not the kind of person who would like throw it in the wash and not think about it. Like she's very careful that way, I think. And I don't know if she watches this, but Devin, if you watch this, you're a beautiful human. So anyway, this sweater is for her because she is one of the most deserving people that I know. So I'm knitting this out of the green. This is the green. This is the main color. It's Knit Picks palette. I thought it had a cute color name, but it just says color 2098, which is very creative. And it's just like a dark forest green. And then the color work, I got these cute little like it's called Pip Colorwork, and it's from Barramu, and it's 100% British wool. And it's spun in Yorkshire, which is fun. So this is in white rose. So it'll be the Dissent collar will be here, and then the main body of the sweater will be here. So it's pretty cute. I like it. Oh, and the Knit Picks is 100% Peruvian highland wool. So we've got Europe, we've got South America.
I like it.
People together. So that's my Dissent sweater. I'm not very far. I think it's just going to be a fairly long-term whip. One, because it's fingering weight sweater on size 2 needles, and two, because it's 100% wool. And so we're getting into the time of year where that's not really practical for her to wear. So I'm not feeling like I have to rush to get it done like anytime soon because it'll be a while before she can wear it in real life. But I'm excited about it. I love color work. I love watching color work come together. I recently learned how to do color work with two hands. So like holding one in my left and one in my right. And so I can go kind of faster now, which is fun. So yeah, that's my other whip. My little tiny Dissent sweater.
Cheesecake. Coming along. To make that much progress on a fingering weight sweater is quite impressive. I've never done a fingering weight sweater. Sounds very difficult.
Yeah, and Devin is a tiny person. Well, not tiny. She's taller than me, but she's tiny this way. So I'm making the second size though because she's very small. So hopefully that'll help. When I make one for myself, it'll be larger.
I'm a consistent size 3 and everything. It's like always.
I know. Well, sometimes it depends. It's like if the size 3 is like a medium or if the size 3 is a large, like how much positive ease do I want? Let's be real, I never want negative ease unless it's socks.
No. Not ever. Sounds terrible.
Although I guess I do. I'm planning on making the ripple bralette from Jessie May eventually.
And that'll be one you want to fit properly.
I'll definitely want some negative ease on that one to
have
a little support.
Yeah.
So anyway, that's my last whip, and then that's my only acquisition this week is this bag. I love it.
Yay! It's super pretty. I love the big one. Yeah.
I love it.
Very into it.
Thanks, Megan, for the bag.
That's one of my acquisitions as well. I also got a Meghan Makes Do project bag. Mine is the medium size, but now that I see Elizabeth's mega one, I really want one next time she does a restock. Mine's the same on both sides, which I'm fine with. I like it. I love the colors that are on it. Lots of pinks and some little florals in there too.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, it's a really nice project bag. It's super sturdy, and I'm really pleased that this medium size is good for socks. Like that's what has my curling mist socks in them. So that's a winner. I have one more acquisition as well because I'm going through a thing with project bags. really liking them. So I also got this one. I think it was called the Hamley, from the Prickly Owl, which is the same maker who made the skier one. I
I
love
love
it.
the
I love the
skier.
butterfly. It's so springy, and the florals. Yeah. Canvas on top
Nice.
and then like cotton on the bottom with the little handmade tassel.
You
It's a
got to
nice
get more
gem.
whips
It's got
going so
orange on
you,
the inside. I know, right?
yeah.
Is that fun?
You need more whips just to fill up your project bags, Grace.
Exactly. Well, the
No
skier
more
one will
two whip life
be
for you.
out of season soon. But then I do have a third whip coming, and I'm using this yarn, which is lots of like blues and oranges and grays. So it'll even like go with the project bag. So I'm really here for that.
I
Yeah,
love
I love
that.
this bag. I was very
That's
excited
so
about
cute.
it. It sold out super, super, super quickly. Like I had the Instagram countdown thing where it sends you a notification when the timer runs out. So like she had one for the restock. She did it at like
Yeah.
8 o'clock on a Saturday or something. And I logged on to her Etsy like 2 minutes after 8, and this one was already gone. So I messaged her because she had posted earlier that week that if one goes up and you miss it and you really wanted it, then let her know and she'll see what she can do. So she custom did it for me, and I was very, very pleased and impressed and just flattered that she would take extra time to make an extra bag when she was like in the middle of a launch and mailing.
Wow.
Also, she packages her orders beautifully. And I'm the first to admit that I save gift wrap, and I always do when I get her bags because she sends the cutest wrapping paper. So yeah,
That's awesome.
that's an
I
ad
love
perk.
it.
If you don't want to go shopping at Target for more tissue paper, shop at Prickly Owl and she'll give you two really nice sheets of tissue paper.
That's amazing.
Always here to save people money.
And it's eco-friendly. Reduce, reuse,
It is.
recycle.
Exactly. There's a whole like I have one of those cube organizers, and one of the little boxes is just full of used tissue paper and gift bags.
I love that you have like
No shame.
a really, really tiny studio apartment.
Yeah.
And
There's
that's
400
that's what's
square feet
taking
in
up
here,
space.
and one spot is just used gift wrap.
It's okay. It's nice when you live in a small space and you can prioritize what's really important to you.
Exactly. One of those things happens to be saving money on gift wrap.
Fine. All right. Well, I guess that's most of our knitting related content. But if you're new here, one of the things we do is we give shout outs every episode. And we give two shout outs, each one that is knitting related and one that is not knitting related. So I guess we shall start with our knitting related shout outs this week. Would you like to give yours first?
Sure. My first knitting related shout out is the next pattern in the Handmade Sock Society season 4. It is called the picnic blanket socks. I think we can put a photo up
Mhm.
when we put the final thing out, but it's got these little, they remind me of leg warmers a little bit, where it's got these little bubbly parts on the leg. So it's like three little, what would you call them? Bubbly?
Like stripe
Like that,
ish
like,
kind of things. Like,
they're like,
I mean, like it's
yeah, I
not
don't
like
know.
you don't really
I'm just
color
doing
change.
this like people might get it.
We'll put a picture over there
Yeah,
or over
it's
there.
not
I
a
don't know
color
where I am.
change kind of thing. It's just like this added kind of bulkiness, if that makes
Hmm.
sense. And I picked up in the last episode, I showed a tea time colorway that I picked up from I Feel Like Dying. And at that point, I didn't know what I was going to do with it. And then the Handmade Sock Society second pattern came out, and I was like, oh, I know exactly what to do with that, because it's even like kind of similar to the colorways used in the sample, which sometimes I like following what the original idea was. So I'm very excited to use that new yarn to make those socks. And already just looking at them, I can tell I probably want to make like 3 or 4 pairs of those socks. I think they're super cute, and they would look really good with like short booties. And yeah,
Mhm.
very excited
So,
to make that.
so there was a pattern that reminds me of that one slightly is Lindsey Fowler's kindling socks, which I test knit because it also had like it was like almost like a garter stitch like stripe. So it's like mostly like a stockinette, or I think it was like there was a pearl in there somewhere, but but then it had like little stripes of garter. And so I did it just in like a variegated colorway when I tested it. But then somebody recently made a version where it was like a gray main color. And then they took the garter stripes and they did them in like a darker gray or like a like blue. And like
That sounds cool.
the like athletic socks almost that have like the like darker stripes at the top. That's what it looked
Yeah,
like. And now I need to
that's
make another
cool.
pair. They looked
Yeah,
so pretty. I can't remember the knitter who made them. If I remember when I'm editing this, I'll try to like pop their Instagram picture and their Instagram handle in there because I loved them. They were so, and that's
that's
not
so
my knitting
cool.
related shout out this week, but that
No.
reminded me of it. So anyway, in your like multiple versions of the picnic blanket socks, you might try that for one of them and
Yeah,
like
I like that
alternate your
idea.
colors. And then you could
Yeah,
like
that'd
use
be
up
a
some
good idea
scraps
for
too
a,
or some minis.
yeah, that's what I was thinking is sock sets would be good for that. I wonder how much it would
Yeah,
use.
I know. You just have to weigh
Good
or
plan.
make
Well done.
two like concurrently so that you don't run out.
Yeah, I'm about to take a class on 2 at a time socks, so maybe I'll figure out how to convert patterns to toe up. Maybe. Probably not.
You could also do, I think you can also do two at a time top down. Like
Oh,
if you're not worried about running out of foot or out of yarn for like the foot and the toe,
true.
then you could probably do it top down. I don't know. I've never done two at a time socks, so I'm curious.
I'm excited to
I
learn.
I want to have the Cliffs notes after you take your class. Okay, so my knitting related shout out this week is kind of a roundabout way to get there. But if you've watched the podcast at all, you'll know that I'm obsessed with Woolberry Fiber Company and Bethany and Reese. Like their colors and their yarns are just incredible. So she is restocking her Berry Natural base, which is a non-superwash sock weight base. And I've been trying, I think I've mentioned this before too. I'm trying to knit with like some more non-superwash yarns because of the environmental impacts of creating superwash yarn. Will I ever stop using superwash completely? Probably not, but just trying to like, know better, do better thing. Anyway, so she's restocking her Berry Natural base and she shared a photo of like three of her colorways. I think it was three. Um, maybe it was four. I think it was four colorways now that I'm thinking about it. Anyway, she shared a photo and I immediately sent it to Grace and I was like, time to start sweater planning. These colors are stunning. Like if I can, I'm apparently setting myself up for a lot of editing this week. If I can find a screenshot of her Instagram where she posted them, I'll put it in here. Oh my gosh. So I was like scrolling through Ravelry last night, kind of like filtering and searching and all that stuff, trying to decide what I was going to make with them. Because of course I'm going to buy a sweater quantity. It's just a matter of which one and how many colors. So scrolling through and I had like a couple of ideas, and then I ran across a designer who I'd never heard of before, and I'm kind of ashamed that I'd never heard of her. And her name is, and I'm sorry if I mispronounce it, and I'm looking over here because I have it written down, is Eri Shimizu. And if I pronounce that wrong, I'm really sorry. Um, oh my goodness, her patterns are stunning. She's a Japanese knitwear designer. Um, and her like colors and her aesthetics and her patterns are just so beautiful. And she's got several patterns that I think would look really, really beautiful with Bethany's yarn. So now it's a matter of which one am I going to make. But anyway, Eri Shimizu, she is at, and her Instagram handle is at ERITML. Um, and oh my gosh, her feed is just like so calming and beautiful. Like I feel like I say that about a lot of things, but I feel that way about like Sunday Fiber Company and Melody Hoffman, and so she's just right up there with me on like the feeds I look at when I need to like just
Relax.
quiet my mind. Right. So her designs are absolutely beautiful. It's a lot of like kind of like soft colors and drapey and beautiful little design details. And I can't wait to make a few of her designs because they're just stunning. So she's my knitting related shout out this week.
Nice.
And secondary shout out to Very Natural, which I think is releasing on the 18th. Not that I'm counting. So excited.
I've
Oh,
never bought
yeah,
any Woolberry Fiber Co., so I'm interested to give it a shot.
you should. Her stuff is great. non-knitting related shout outs?
Yes. My
Do
non-knitting related shout out is kind of sad. So I'll preface with that. Um, so like many people, I'm looking at my phone right now because I need to pull this up. I've been thinking about Sarah Everard's story and just all the crazy, horrible things that happen to anyone who's not a white man in this world. And just kind of contemplating the implications of the way we talk about that kind of violence and the way that people are treated. And I came across a excerpt from a TED Talk called Violence Against Women, It's a Men's Issue by Jackson Katz. And I've been thinking about this little excerpt a lot this week. Just we got interrupted because of a bad internet connection on one of our ends, not sure which one. But the passage that I'm going to read relates to violence against women and sexual violence against women. So if that is not something you're comfortable hearing, feel free to skip forward a couple minutes until you see my mouth stop moving. So this is the passage. It says, "We talk about how many women were raped last year, not about how many men raped women. We talk about how many girls in a school district were harassed last year, not about how many boys harassed girls. We talk about how many teenage girls got pregnant in the state of Vermont last year, rather than how many men and teenage boys got girls pregnant. So you can see how the use of this passive voice has a political effect. It shifts the focus off men and boys and onto girls and women. Even the term violence against women is problematic. It's a passive construction. There's no active agent in the sentence. It's a bad thing that happens to women. It's a bad thing that happens to women, but when you look at that term, violence against women, nobody is doing it to them. It just happens. Men aren't even a part of it." So I found that passage moving because as a writer, I'm very cognizant of using active voice in what I write. Not saying certain phrases about like patients with terrible diseases, and instead saying like patients with X terrible disease want treatments for this part of X terrible disease, not something that would be less direct. And I like that passage because it didn't really occur to me that I should be using that same active voice with a lot of different things that get brought up in the news and things like that. And also you can replace any non-white male population with women in that passage. So you could say, we say that a Black man was killed by a police officer, not a police officer killed a Black man. And yeah, I just think that passage and the way it was framed really like made me think a little deeper about the implications of using passive phrases like that and not assigning the fact that someone did that, not that something happened to that person. So yeah, that was that was on my mind this week. So.
Absolutely. Yeah, I think as someone who has studied language and literature,
yeah, for sure.
that also really resonates with me. I think I've seen that passage before, but I didn't know what it was from. So I'm glad that you brought that up. But yeah, it's definitely, and it's a tool used by, both writers of fiction and of nonfiction to reassign blame or take blame off of an actor in a situation. And so I think it's really important that we like not only analyze the content of what's being said, but how it's being said. So just more things.
Yeah.
But
a lot to think
that's
about.
a good one. I have a not heavy non-knitting related shout out. I feel like
Bring us back.
We can't have two heavy ones in the same week. So one of the things that I'm doing in my personal life, and it seems very silly, and especially in the context of what we just talked about, very first world problems, but I have this issue where I wear leggings all day, every day. And I hate when my leggings get like pilling on the inner thighs from my legs rubbing together, right? So I back a couple weeks ago, I posted on my Instagram And I was like, please give me your leggings recommendations. And I got like 25 different like brands of leggings recommended to me. It was like way over the top. So now I'm doing a very non-scientific experiment where I ordered, and again, I recognize that this is very privileged. I ordered like 4 or 5 different pairs of leggings from different places, and I'm comparing very non-scientifically. But one of the things that somebody mentioned, because again, one of the reasons I love to knit is because I hate fast fashion. And even when I buy things that are more slow fashion, so like my Athleta leggings, which are from a certified B Corp and all that, I hate spending that much money on things that are going to pill and wear out. Like that's dumb. Um, so one of the things that somebody mentioned was that they got a fabric shaver to shave off the pilling on their leggings, and I was like, you know what? That is $13 well spent. If I can spend $13 to fix like the 7 pairs of leggings that I already own that have this problem, that would be pretty great. So I tried it this morning. It is magic. Like actual magic. I did it on these leggings. I'm not going to like put my inner thighs up to the camera because that's weird. But I have a before and after picture. And it is bonkers because they look brand new.
I'm curious. I want one.
It was $13. I bought it on Amazon. Don't buy from Amazon this week. Don't cross picket lines. They look brand new. Absolutely brand new. You can't even tell.
That's insane.
So I'm so excited to go do it to the other like 6 pairs of leggings that have filling on them. Because now between that, like somebody mentioned that they think that my nice leggings pilled because I put them in the dryer, even though that it says on the tag that you can tumble dry. So I'm not putting any of the new ones that I just bought in the dryer. So I think between that and this fabric shaver, I think that I will be set on leggings for like 10 years. Unless I
right. That's amazing.
unless I like gain or lose a bunch of weight and they don't fit anymore. Like that's the only reason that I think I would have to buy new leggings. Because these are amazing.
I'm so excited.
So $13 very well spent. That's my non-knitting related shout out. It's so silly, but
that's a good one.
Oh my God.
That has potential to change people's lives.
And I've heard that like people will use them on sweaters. I only got it out of the box this morning. So I clearly have not tried it on any like hand knits or knit sweaters that have pilled or anything, but apparently you can use on that too. And it's got like
even on like sweatshirts would be good. I get them on sweatshirts all the time.
Yeah, and it's got like a little plastic guard so it kind of you can control how close it gets to the actual fabric. It's great. A+.
Wow.
So anyway, that's my non-knitting related shout out.
I liked it. That was a good shout out.
Hopefully it helps somebody out there somewhere. Anyway,
I like it.
We always end our episodes with top 3. This is a segment we lovingly borrowed from Sophie and Lydia of the Pom Pom Quarterly podcast, the Pomcast, where we rank our top 3 of like completely arbitrary categories. So today we are ranking our top 3 favorite holidays.
It's a fun one. I like holidays.
It is a fun one. I had to think about it. Actually, I had to think about number 3. Number 1 and 2, I was like, check.
Same. It was harder.
There's a lot to choose from. There's a lot of holidays. But I went with ones that I don't know, that we very regularly celebrate. Like sometimes we'll do something fun first? For like the winter solstice, but like I don't celebrate that every year. Sure. So my top 3 holidays, number 3 is coming up soon. So for number 3, I put Easter. One of the reasons I love Easter, and then another one of my holidays on my list, is because I love the music that's associated with it. Like one of my favorite things is like an Easter Sunday at church with like the big pipe organ and like the swelling choir and the horns and the string. I mean, I love it. Granted, I can't have a big swelling choir right now because COVID, but that's one of the things that I love most. I love when like that first organ note plays and it like rocks your soul, right? Like you get like that feeling in your tummy. It's great. So that's that's the number one reason why I love Easter. The number two reason is because I love Easter food. I love Easter food more than Thanksgiving food. Um, I love spring food. And I love baking for Easter. Like I love doing like lighter cakes and we're recording on Pie Day and I feel like I'm gonna go to hell for saying that I like cake more than pie. Um, and so like Thanksgiving isn't always
Weird
my
in my
favorite.
book.
I just love cake. And I always make this really fun, like layered cake with strawberries and cream on Easter and like vanilla bean cream. Oh my gosh, it's so good. I can't wait to make it
That
again.
is good cake.
Especially now that I've really upped my cake game over the last year in quarantine. So, anyway, so that's number three. Easter is my second favorite. Or Easter's my third favorite. You know what I'm saying? It's daylight savings and I didn't sleep. So number two, I put New Year's. And not because I like to stay up until midnight and like drink and party and go crazy, but because I love fresh starts. And I love that there's one like built into my life every year. I love setting goals. Um, yeah, I love the fresh start. I love feeling like we can send whatever happened in the past year into the past and we can move forward. And I love New Year's for that reason. Mean, I do usually stay up, clink some champagne or whatever, but it's not like I go out and like go crazy on New Year's. It's more of the fresh start that I love about New Year's. And then my number one favorite holiday is Christmas. I love Christmas. It's the best. I love the Christmas season. I love giving. I love finding the perfect present for people. I love baking. I love cookies. I love decorating the house. I love driving around and seeing Christmas lights. I love snow. Winter is my favorite season. I love Christmas. I wish it could be Christmas all year. We were watching an episode of Wild Nordic on Disney Plus last night, and they talk about like Santa Village, which is above the Arctic Circle in Norway, and it's just Christmas all year round. And I was like,
Guess who's
I'm
been
gonna live
there?
there. Brandon's been there.
He's been there. He met Santa. He has a picture with him.
Okay, Brandon, I'm super jealous. But they were showing like the ice hotel, and it's like this giant igloo hotel, and I'm like, we are going there. Oh, hi, Elliot.
Hi.
Did you want to come say hi?
Hey, girl.
Okay.
I'm wearing my swimsuit.
What?
I'm wearing my swimsuit.
You are wearing your swimsuit now, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. What's your favorite holiday, Elliot? Valentine's Day?
Mm-hmm.
Oh, cute.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, can I finish this up?
No,
We're almost done.
I want to hear it on crazy.
Oh, she's in my headphones.
Can you, Mommy?
Okay,
So
how
I
about
can
when we're
hear
done,
her.
okay? Can you give us like 5 minutes?
1 minute.
5. Okay, can I kiss? Okay, can you go help clean the fish tank?
But we know.
I like that she had to wear her swimsuit to clean the fish tank.
Yep. Okay, you can
Pretty
sit right there, but
reasonable.
you gotta be quiet, okay? When I'm done. Okay. All right. Grace, what are your top 3 favorite holidays?
My top 3 holidays. I was gonna include Easter, but then you included it, so I thought maybe I'll just leave it out this time.
Okay. All right, we've got
Well,
lots of
similar
visitors
to
today.
Elliot, my third favorite holiday is Valentine's Day. I like having an excuse to tell people you love them. And also I love pink. So that's like a good enough reason for me to like that holiday a lot. My second favorite is Thanksgiving. I enjoy the excuse to have a bunch of people together and celebrate what you're grateful for, especially doing it through food. Last year for Thanksgiving, Brendan and I smoked a brisket, and that was really fun. I learned a lot because I had never smoked anything before. So that was an enjoyable experience. And the last couple of years I've spent Thanksgiving with Brandon's family, and I've really enjoyed having that time with them. So that's a good holiday. It's also Brandon's favorite holiday, so I have to keep it on the list. And then number one, like you, is Christmas. Everything about Christmas is perfect. The time of the year, the music, the giving great gifts to people and being proud of what you got them. It's just fun. It's a fun time to be alive.
It is. It's the best. Right? And Elliot's favorite holiday is Valentine's Day, apparently.
Nice.
Cool.
I like it.
Great. Well, I think all of the critters in my family are telling me that it's time to sign off. Um,
Hey, girl.
all right. So anyway, if you want to find us, we're on Instagram as Sister Knitting Society. You can find me on Instagram as Cinnamon and Spice Knits, and I'm EA Pike on Ravelry.
And you can find me on Instagram at Grace Moser. Same name on Ravelry. We hope you like this episode, especially featuring Elliot at the end. So
Everything's
like
fine.
it, subscribe, have fun.
Tell us if you want more Elliot content in the comments.
Yeah. Yep, that's
All
a
we
good
got
sign off.
today.
I like that.
All right.
Legs.
Yep. All right.
All
We'll see
right.
you next time, guys. Bye.